Good day everyone, welcome to today's class. If this is your first time on this channel, please click the red subscription button to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that when we drop more educative content, you get notified. So in this class, I'm going to be solving another question like I promised on linear programming. But this time the question will be quite different because we are looking at different type of questions you can come across in your exam. So follow through, let's go and let's solve this question together. The question goes thus. Oshimiri Nigeria Limited, a company based in Aba, produces two grades of industrial varnish. The selling price and associated unit variable costs for varnish grade A and grade B are shown below. So we have the particulars grade A and grade B. We have the selling price for grade A 21, for grade B 15. Material X, which is 240 naira per kg, 480 for grade A, 240 for grade B. We have skilled labor, which is 144 naira per hour, 720 for grade A, 288 for grade B. We have unskilled labor, 16 naira per hour, which is 120 for grade A, 180 naira for grade B. Variable overhead, which is 80 naira per machine hour. We have it to be 168 naira for grade A, 336 naira for grade B. So we told that the fixed overhead costs are 2.6 million per month. The company plans to maximize profits. The availability of resources for the following month is as follows. Material X, 25,000 kg. Skilled labor, 48,000 hours. Unskilled labor, 39,000 hours. Machine hours, 50,000 hours. So we are required identify the objective function and the constraints of the model to be used in determining the optimum production plan for the following months. And we're told that determine the optimum production plan for the month and the associated profits. And lastly, explain the concept and significance of dual prices and slack resources in content of the model used in the company in this scenario. So before I proceed, I actually said it in I think in my last class is that dual price is also what we call shadow price. So I said it in my last class that it's also called dual price is also called the shadow price, and I've explained how we calculate that in my previous video. Watch out for that. So but let's proceed to solve this question. Now, one thing I want to call our attention to in this question is that we're given the constraint, which is material X 25,000 kg, skilled labor 48,000 hours, unskilled 39,000 hours, machine hours 50,000 hours. So we're told to identify the objective function. As we all know, the objective of any business is to maximize their contribution. So we need to calculate the contribution from what we have been given. So let's go. So let's say I have to calculate the contribution, I have grade A, or let me just use A and B. Yes, let's go that way. A and B. So we're being told in the question that the selling price for A is 2,100. So we have selling price for A is 2,100 and the selling price for B is 1,500. So, and we know very well that if you want to calculate the contribution is simply selling price minus variable costs. Selling price minus variable cost is your contribution. So sorry that we are using a small board. It's just a change of environment that caused this. Very soon we'll go back to our bigger boards. So selling price minus variable cost is our contribution. So our selling price for A is 21, for B is 15. So let's list out all our variable costs for A and all our variable costs for B. Then we subtract. So the variable cost less we less our variable cost, which is the first one that I have here is the materials. So materials for A, which cost 480, for B, which cost 240. So we have the skilled labor for A, which costs 720, for B, which costs 288. Unskilled labor, which is 120 for A and 180 for B. We also have the variable overhead, which is 84 naira per hour, which costs machine hour. Let's say machine hour, which costs 168 naira for A and 336 naira for B. So, which as we all know that the objective of any business is to maximize their contribution, and contribution is the selling price which have been given from all these listed variable costs. So the next thing we do is to sum up our variable costs. So we have 480 plus 720 plus 120 and plus 168, we have 1488. So the summation of all our variable cost is 1488. 1488. And the summation of all our variable cost here is 240 plus 288 plus 180 plus 336. That gives us 1044. 1044 naira. So of course our contribution is our selling price minus the totality of our variable cost. So 21 minus 1488 minus 1488 is give us a contribution of this is 612. For this 15 minus 1044, 456, 456. So I can boldly say that this is our contribution for A, this is our contribution for B. So of course our objective function is to maximize this guy and this guy here. So we've been told that we should determine the objective function and the constraint model. So objective function is 612 of A, 612 of A plus 456 of B. 456 of B is our objective function. Let me put that very, very well. So I have 612A plus 456B is our objective function. So we've determined our objective function. The next thing they told us in this question is to identify the objective function and constraint of the model to be used in determining the optimum production plan. So we're also told to identify the constraint in this question. So let's go to identifying our constraint in this question. Now, one thing I want us to know very, very well, and the major reason why I decided to pick this question to solve is simply because if you look at all our constraint that has been given in the question, we're told that material X, we only have 25,000 kg. That means material X, we cannot get more than 25,000 kg. The max you can get is 25,000. We can use less than that, but we cannot use more than that. Now, but if you look at your grade A and grade B, you see that your grade A and grade B, the materials is being given in form of price, because they said material X, which is 418 naira. But we're being told that the constraint, which is material X, is 25,000 kg. So material X, which is expressed in naira in the grade A, under grade A, is being given as a constraint in kg. So there are different weights here. We need to make sure that the weight we are using is actually the same thing, or else we will get a very wrong answer. Let me put what I'm trying to say on the board so that you get me right. Now they told us that material X from the question, which is 240 naira per kg, is 480 naira for A. So they told us that material X 240 naira per kg, which is 480 naira being used for A. So if to produce A from the question, they said we need 480 naira worth of material X, and one material X costs 240. So definitely 240 times 2 is what give us 480. I don't know if you get that. Let me come again. They said material X is 240 naira per kg. And to produce A, we need 480 naira of material X. So if 1 kg is 240, then definitely 480 is 2 kg of material X. Yes, because if 1 kg is 240, so 480 is 2 kg. So 480 divided by 240 is 2 kg for material X, is what we actually need there. So that's for us to produce A, that's 2A. So the constraint that will come here, I will say 2A, because for material X we need 2 kg. So, and why am I expressing it in kg? I'm expressing it in kg because from our question we've been told that the constraint is 25,000 kg. So I have to express it back in kg. I cannot use it in naira. I will have said 2 kg is what 480. If I use 480 plus whatever I get here equals to 25,000 kg, then it will not be the same thing. Definitely I'll be wrong. I want to believe we get that. So now we've been told that for B we only need 240 naira worth of material X, which is 1 kg. So 2A plus B is equals to, or is less than or equals to 25,000 kg. Now we've been told for B we only need 240 naira worth of material X. Now 240 naira worth of material X is only 1 kg because 1 kg costs 240 naira. So definitely for B, I only need 1 B to produce 1 unit of material X to produce B. So that is 1B, which is the same thing as B less than or equal to 25,000 kg. I want to believe we get that. Now, the next constraint we have is the skilled labor. We've been told that skilled labor is 48,000 hours. Now, skilled labor is 48,000 hours, and we've been told for skilled labor information, we're told that skilled labor is 144 naira per hour, and A is using 720 naira worth of skilled labor. Now, one skilled labor is 144 naira per hour. In 1 hour, skilled labor is 144 naira. Now, and A is using 720 naira worth of skilled labor. So if you divide 720 divided by 144, it will give you how many skilled labor hours that A is using. So 720 divided by 144, that gives you 5. So A needs 5 hours worth of skilled labor, which is 5A. I want to believe we did that. So I'm expressing it in hours because our skilled labor, which is being given in the question, was expressed in hours. So I'll come here, 5A plus. Now, we're being told that B is 288 naira worth of skilled labor. So 288 divided by 144, that should be 2. 288 divided by 144, that is 2. So B needs 2B, 5A plus 2B is less than or equals to how many labor hours? 48,000 labor hours. So if you look at it now, this I express it in labor hours, this is in labor hours. This I express it in kg, this is in kg. So you need to make sure that whatever this guy you have here is expressing, this guy also here must be expressing it. Or if you are using different weight, then you will not get the right answer. Following, to continue, we have the unskilled labor, which is at 9,000 hours. And we're being told in the question that unskilled labor is 60 naira per hour, which is 120 naira. A is using 120 naira worth of unskilled labor. So if one skilled labor is 60 naira, one skilled labor per hour is 60 naira, and A is using 120 naira worth of unskilled labor. So 120 naira divided by 60 naira, that means A is using 2 hours of unskilled labor. So 2A plus, now for B, we've been told that 180 naira worth of unskilled labor. So 180 divided by 60, that's 3. So B is using 3 worth of unskilled labor hours is less than or equals to 39,000 hours. As simple as that. So if you proceed, lastly we have machine hours, which is 50,000 hours. So we've been told that machine hours is 84 naira per machine hour. So one machine hour, 84 naira per machine hour. And we've been told that A is using 168 naira of it. So if A is using 168 naira worth of machine hour, then I will have 168 divided by 84. 168 divided by 84. That will give me 2 hours of machine hour is what A is using. Plus, we've been told that B is using 336 hour worth of machine hour. So if B is using 336, 336 divided by 84 will give us how many hours B is using. So 336 divided by 84, that gives us 4 hours. 4B less than or equals to, we've been told that the total available hours is 50,000 hours. So it is as simple as that. Coming back, we have our objective function and our constraint function. Our objective function is 612A plus 456B is our objective function. Our constraint function, 2A plus B is less than or equals to 25,000. 5A plus 2B is less than or equals to 48,000. 2A plus 3B is less than or equals to 39,000. And 2A plus 4B is less than or equals to 50,000. So we've gotten our objective function and our constraint function, which is the first aspect of what the question asks us to do. So the second aspect says, determine the optimum production plan for the month and the associated profit. So we know that for us to determine the optimum associated production plan for the month, we need to subject all these inequality sign to be equals to 0 so that we can get the value of A and the value of B at each extreme point. So we have 4 different equations. So I'll just change it like this. I've explained it in my last video that we need to change the inequality sign to an equality sign. Then we have equals to. I've explained this in detail in my last class. So we subject each and every one. We assume that when A is 0, what is B? When B is 0, what is A? So I'll call this equation 1, equation 2, equation 3, and equation 4. So from equation 1, let's start that here. Equation 1 is 2A plus B equals to 25,000. 2A plus B is equals to 25,000. So 2A plus B is equals to 25,000. Of course, if my A is 0, B is simply equals to 25,000. So if A is equals to 0, what is B? And if B is equals to 0, what is A? So if my A is equals to 0, 2 times 0 is 0, then B is equals to 25,000, 25,000. And if my B equals to 0, 25,000 divided by 2 will give me what my B will be, and what my A will be rather, and that's 12,500. So from equation 1, which is 2A plus B equals to 25,000, if my A is equals to 0, B equals to 25,000, and if my B equals to 0, A is 12,500. So let's see for equation 2. For equation 2 is 5A plus 2B. 5A plus 2B is equals to 48,000. So if A equals to 0, what is my B? And if my B is equals to 0, what is my A? If my A is equals to 0, then definitely 5 times 0 is 0. So 48,000 divided by 2 will be what my B is, and my B is 24,000. So if my B is 0, 48,000 divided by 5 will give me the value of my A, and that's 9,600. That's 9,600. This is for equation 2. Now for equation 3, let's do something similar. For equation 3, I'm going to be having something of this nature. Now equation 3 is 2A plus 3B is equals to 39,000. So if A is equals to 0, what is my B? And if B is equals to 0, what is my A? Now if A equals to 0, then 39,000 divided by 3 will give me the value of B, and that's 13,000. And if B equals to 0, B is equals to 0 because 3 times 0 is 0. 39,000 divided by 2 will give me the value of A. 39,000 divided by 2, which is 19,500. 19,500. And lastly, for my fourth equation, which is equation 4, I'm going to be having equation 4 is 2A plus 4B is equals to 50,000. So if my A is equals to 0, what is my B? And if my B is equals to 0, what is my A? So at this point, if my A is equals to 0, 2 times 0 is 0. So 4B equals to 50,000. So 50,000 divided by 4, that's my B is equals to 12,500. And if my B equals to 0, what is my A? 4 times 0 is 0. So 50,000 divided by 2, that's 25,000. 25,000. So I've gotten my um extreme values for each and all the equation. The next thing is to draw my graph to determine the point at which this objective function is being maximized. Let's see if we can manage the remaining space on our board to draw our objective function. So if you are to go this way, we will have something similar to this, and we have, let's call this axis, let's use this axis for A, and let's use this axis for B. Now, the next question we need to ask ourselves is, what's the highest value of A? Highest value, A is 12,500 here, A is 96 here, A is 19,500 here, A is 25,000 here. Highest value for A is 25,000. So we can use an interval of 5,000 for A. This is A here. So we know that this is the origin. So we can have 5,000, or let's just use 5 to represent 5,000. 5K, yes, 10K, 15K, 20K, and 25K. So we use an interval of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So you tell the examiner the interval you are using by saying, I said it in my first class that from the first tick line to the second tick line is 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter on for A, 1 centimeter to represent 5K. 5K. That's for A. That is my skill. So I will come again. What is the highest value of B? B is 25,000 here. B is 24,000 here. B is 13,000 here. So highest value for B is 25,000. So I can also use the same thing, which is 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K, and 25K. So we have our graph. We can proceed to plot. So we can say for B as well, 1 centimeter to represent 5K. The next thing we do is to proceed to plot our graph. So the first one is, which is the equation 1, equation 2, 3, 4. So equation 1, when A is 0, B is 25,000.